90-second bit, then we're out.
All right. Can you hear Jolly talking already? And it's not Jolly. Simmer down. He's raring to go with the breaking news. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show, Lemon Live at 5. We come on. By the way, you know the whole drill. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and the like. It does affect the algorithm, and more people become aware of our conversation. I'm so glad that you are here. A busy day in New York City, a busy day for the world, okay? Because we come on with some breaking news once again. For the fourth time this week, we have breaking news. Well, fourth time, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, because every day, in the morning, the evening, this morning, and now this evening. After Donald Trump's once-in-a-generation ceasefire agreement between Israel and Iran was blown to smithereens this morning, the president was hit with another massive setback. It happened just moments ago. The U.S. military strikes Trump ordered on Iran's nuclear facilities did not, I repeat, did not destroy the, quote, core components of the country's nuclear program, and likely set it back only by a matter of months. Diplomacy would probably have been much better. That's according to 3 sources familiar with the classified report put together by the Defense Intelligence Agency and the U.S. Central Command. What did he say? Completely obliterated? That's what he said. According to the sources, the enriched uranium was not destroyed, and the Iranian centrifuges are largely intact. The findings are directly at odds with President Donald Trump's and the Defense Department's Pete Hegseth's insistent that Iran's nuclear program had been, quote, completely obliterated. He said, I don't think they're going to be, you saw the soundbite this morning. If we have it, we'll bring it to you. But he said, I don't think they're going to be making uranium ever again. They won't have to be able to do it. So we also need to cover this historic mayoral election in New York City, where the very future of the Democratic Party is at stake. This is not a local story. This is not a New York story. This is a nationwide story. Will 33-year-old Democratic socialist Zoran Mamdani topple a political dynasty and defeat former Governor Andrew Cuomo, or will the establishment forces in the Big Apple prevail? The rich folks, the establishment. And how will the historic heat wave suffocating the Northeast affect this closely watched race? So here to discuss with me, I have a phenomenal group of guests. Jolly is our chief Washington correspondent, and Jack Cocciarella is the host of the Jack Cocciarella Show here on YouTube. He's going to join us to talk to us about the mayor's race in New York in just a moment. But first, I'm going to get to Jolly with the breaking news. And the breaking news is, we'll put the New York Times up. The New York Times is reading that the U.S. strike barely set back Iran's nuclear capability, set back to Iran's nuclear program by only a few months. U.S. report says, basically, for you and me, it is what? I told you so. You reported this.
I told you so.
As soon as it happened.
We were here live on the Don Lemon Show 1 hour after these strikes took place. And we were saying then, and it's on YouTube, you can go watch it, that this didn't do anything. Why? We have a president who goes on Timu Twitter and tells the world, hey, our planes are now in Iranian airspace. We own Iranian airspace, well before the strikes ever happened. Also, there was already reports the day of that Iran had a heads up about where we were going to strike. And it turns out that they moved their stockpile out, that they moved their personnel out. And now with this intelligence report, the only new information that I'm really seeing that we didn't already know was that they really didn't even hit the core components that would have stopped future uranium enrichment. So we basically just had, a giant waste of money, and we flew across the ocean for no reason.
Yeah, how many and how much money did we spend on this? And then basically, I think diplomacy, Jolly, would have been much better than spending all of this money. And look, they did a great job at also putting lives in jeopardy. Again, this is our breaking news here on the Don Lemon Show at 5 o'clock. Strike set back Iran's nuclear program by only a few months. U.S. report says classified findings indicate that the attack sealed off the entrances to 2 facilities, but did not collapse their underground buildings. What does this, first of all, do to morale, and what are the larger implications here?
Besides, America's embarrassed. I mean, we're embarrassed. It's an embarrassment. Remember, Donald Trump got all of his yes men behind him and stood in front of the cameras and said, we just ended the Iranian nuclear program. We have Republican congressmen tripping over their own shoes to put in for a Nobel Peace Prize. Everybody was pounding their chest. And now, speaking of diplomacy, he's trying to broker a ceasefire deal and fell in that miserably. We are an absolute embarrassment on the world stage. We wasted a bunch of money. We put a bunch of service members' life at risk. Just keep in mind, this was an escalation that could have ended horribly. We're lucky it didn't. And so we're left basically, looking like the fools.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jolly, and you saw him this morning after he said, after last night, remember, this is total peace. Iran's going to cease fire. Then Israel's going to cease. And then the world is going to be a better place and everyone will be happy and we'll leave it in a peaceful. And everyone lived happily ever after.
Right. That
And,
part.
and then.
And then, first of all, we know one thing. If Donald Trump's talking, he's lying. Number two, he's finding out that if the shit was that fucking easy, it would have already happened, right? He thought that he would show up. I'm Donald Trump. My name's on a bunch of buildings, and I'm going to bomb 3 places. Now we know it wasn't even the real facilities. And everybody's going to throw their hands up and say, please, I quit. After 80 years, we're going to have a peace deal. Like, no, this is a very complex geopolitical situation in which you should have experts around you as you negotiate, as you said, diplomatic resolution. Instead, he's surrounded by the DUI hire, whiskey leak, Pete Hegsbreth himself, and the rest of his clown show. So that's why we are where we are. You elect clowns in, you get a circus.
I want to put this Matt Duss tweet up for you. It says the U.S.'s most advanced stealth bombers dropping the U.S.'s biggest, baddest bombs managed to set back Iran's nuclear program by about 3% as much as Obama's nuclear agreement with Iran did. Once again, great job, neocons. And it's
Bingo.
true that that's what diplomacy will work better. And it's a whole lot cheaper and better for the American taxpayer.
And this is another I told you so on your program, same day the bomb dropped, we brought up the nuclear deal that was negotiated by one Barack H. Obama that was actually successful for the first time in 40 years of bringing Iran's nuclear program to essential halt. And it was overturned by Donald Trump for no other reason besides ego. And of course, he hates Black people.
Jolly, why don't you say how you really feel next time? Jolly, let me just one more thing. I just want you to tell people that something big is happening with the senators today, and you're going to be there covering it, and we're going to come back to you. Tell us what's happening.
I'm on the way to the Capitol building right now. Senators are gathering outside the steps right now as we speak. They're bringing together a bunch of people that will be affected by Medicaid cuts. See, one story that's kind of been lost in the shuffle here is that big ugly bill, where the big ugly bill has reached the Senate floor now. I'm going to go sit down with the senators that are up there, listen to the stories being told, and I'll join you guys about halfway through the hour here to see what's going on.
Our chief Washington correspondent, Jolly Good Ginger, in Washington, covering it for us as he should be, and we'll see him in just a little bit with that story from the Senate. Thank you, Jolly. I appreciate it. See you in a little bit. Okay, let's welcome now to the Don Lemon Show, Jack Cocciarella. He's the host of the Jack Cocciarella Show right here on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, right? Some of you are watching us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And if you are, then we're going to introduce you to Jack Cocciarella, but I'm sure many of you are familiar with him as well. Jack, thank you. Welcome to the program. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Don, for having me on.
So there's this thing happening in New York. I'm not sure many people are aware of it. I mean, no one's really talking about it. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, and that is the mayor's race. And let's, Zoran Mamdani is, I believe it's like a miracle rise in the polls and love with New Yorkers. That, look, let's face it, Andrew Cuomo is a household name. Nobody knew who Zoran Mamdani was.
Maybe a week ago.
I was just going to say, yes. So go for it. So what on earth is actually happening here?
When you put forth a Democrat who can communicate a message about affordability, a young guy with what, we Gen Zers call Riz, he kind of takes off pretty quickly. And
aura. You're saying he has aura?
He does have aura. It's just
right.
It's unlimited amounts of aura. Obviously, Don, I don't need to paraphrase anything for you. I don't need to translate Gen Z, but Zoran has been exploding lately, not just because he's had this digital operation that has been so strong for so long, but he makes it easy for people to want to be brought into the campaign. He's speaking to everyone, everywhere. He's like socialist Pete Buttigieg in 2020. Like, he wants to go everywhere all the time. He was up for a press conference at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember. I think the last time I saw 5 o'clock in the morning, I had stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, Zoran is nonstop, and the message resonates, and it's very clear because he's exploding the polls right now.
Yeah. There was someone, I think, Casual Observer in the chat said that Jack was glazing on his Riz. So that's
I was glazing. Do you know what? That is an accurate assessment. I have been for a while. I've
it's
been.
on the screen. You can see what his casual observer says, glazing on his Riz.
It's true. I'm more than happy to. But Zoran has been in the social space. He's been on social media. Like, this campaign has been thriving on social media for so long. It's funny, like the anecdote that I share, why I say he's been a household name now for like a week, even though obviously Governor Cuomo has been disgraced. Former Governor Cuomo has for so long, is that I did an interview on my YouTube channel with Zoran about 3 months ago, and I posted a clip from it on my Instagram account. And after the first week, where usually those things stop getting views and likes, it had about 10,000. And it started picking up again about a week and a half ago, when people were really flooding Zoran's page and beginning to follow him. And he was getting just pushed all the way through the algorithm. It's at 60,000 likes now. So in a week, 2 months after it was posted, it gets another 50,000 likes just because his social media feed is exploding. And it's really translating. He has the on the ground operation. They just passed 1.5 million doors knocked yesterday. This is not just a social media thing. This is real.
Yeah, and it's interesting because my husband's into the social media. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's been telling me for weeks now. I'm telling you, Zoran got 60,000 likes. Andrew Cuomo got 200. And I'm like, okay, does that mean anything? Is he a social media creation? I think it's not a social media creation, but it shows you the importance of social media, and also the importance of his appeal as well, which is affordability, which he really, he hit first. And made it the main focus of his campaign. Do you know Ross Barkan? Ross Barkan was on with my friend Tara Palmieri, and he's from New York Magazine. And this is what he said about his Zoran's historic rise. Here it is.
You mentioned $20 million has been spent in a super PAC that supports Andrew Cuomo.
If Zoran wins this would be the first time I am aware of in my research and experience where a mayoral candidate completely overcame big money in New York City. Every winning candidate I can think of, going back to at least the 1970s, had some support from, usually it's like either Wall Street or the real estate industry. So like Bill de Blasio was progressive and a lot of rich people disliked him. But if you recall, he was actually close with a lot of real estate developers, and he had ties to big real estate in a way that helped offset some of the hostility he found kind of in the finance sector. Whereas here, it's like the union. I mean, it is almost like true class war. It is like the union of big money in New York City. Again, like Zoran is their worst nightmare. They do not want the 33-year-old Muslim socialist as mayor of New York City. And that's like top to bottom. If you were a person with real money in this town, you are against him.
Don, you're muted.
Don.
How about that? He's 100% right. And look, because I'm out there on the streets reporting, I talk to people, I ask everyone, hey, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then I go, hey, what do you think about the campaign? Oh my God, I love that Zoran, blah, blah, blah. Or oh, he scares me. He's a democratic socialist, or he's anti-Semitic, and on and on. You hear the thing. Or if he wins, the tax base is going to leave New York City. All of those things. I hear it all. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think that Zoran, one of the reasons he's been so successful is because he's unafraid to respond to any critique against him, and usually just uses it as an opportunity to share his platform with anyone who will listen. This is someone who hasn't shied away as he closes this gap from any of the positions that many might think, oh, well, maybe we don't necessarily want to be talking about this. A perfect example is, as a Columbia grad myself, just recently, I know that the Trump administration has gone after my alma mater because they thought, all right, this is a liberal university. This is the perfect target for us to go after. People don't like these big institutions. They don't like colleges. And of course, they went after Mahmoud Khalil because his message of liberation for the Palestinian people isn't maybe something that resonates as broadly with Americans as other free speech issues, because it was a free speech issue would. So they thought if we could pick on Columbia, we can pick on Mahmoud Khalil, then maybe people will fall in line with us. They'll be okay with it. Democrats won't speak out. And a lot of Democrats didn't speak out. But as we just recently saw Mahmoud Khalil released, Zoran took the opportunity to reaffirm what he's been saying throughout his entire campaign, that yes, this has always been a free speech issue. He is not someone who is going to stop calling himself a democratic socialist just because he's getting closer to winning this election. He's got the same quality that an AOC, that a Bernie Sanders, that even, Donald Trump does, where they're just unabashedly themselves. People can be worried maybe about Zoran. I don't think they distrust him, though. He is so blunt and honest. And I think that's what's been so important in catapulting his success, is just because he keeps saying the same things, because it's what he believes, no matter if he was at 2% in the polls, which he was a couple months ago, or 52% in the polls.
Okay, let me put this up then, because this is the New York New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
New York Post is saying, "Say it ain't so." Since we're here, the Post says New Yorkers must reject radical anti-Semitic socialists in today's primary. It's sort of saying to you what now don't get mad at me in the chat. I'm not saying this. I'm just telling you this. These are the issues that are happening in New York City, and that's what folks are saying. What do you say to that? Because he's had to answer this whole thing about anti-Semitism and rejecting socialist policies that they say is not good for the city. And all one has to do is look at Chicago, and you can see that it does not work.
Or you could look at Boston and look at what Mayor Wu is doing very successfully, someone that Zoran consistently cites as the most successful Democrat in the country. I want to talk about the socialist policies first. I don't know what's so scary about making sure that buses are free and they run quickly so we can have better transit in New York. I don't know what's so scary about freezing the rent, something that Mayor de Blasio did. That's not a radical idea. Landlords continue to see huge increases in their profits as it gets more expensive for everyone to live everywhere in the United States without any actual bumps in income being seen by anyone. But what Zoran has talked about and responded to, I think unfairly, critiques of anti-Semitism, which don't exist in his campaign, is that he's actually the campaign most focused on fighting back against real anti-Semitism that does exist, not the type of anti-Semitism co-opted by the right, people who engage with Nick Fuentes and then turn around and say that they care about combating anti-Semitism. They don't. But Zoran has talked more than any other campaign, not just because he's been asked, but about combating the hate that exists against every group in New York City, but specifically investing more than any other campaign to stop anti-Semitism that is real in New York.
What about this idea that the tax base will
ridiculous? There's no way. I say it's ridiculous for the same reason that Zoran told me, is because the New York City tax code is not having to do with businesses that are headquartered in New York City. It's business that is done in New York. So you're not just going to stop doing business in New York. It's not like, Amazon picking up and moving out of Washington or wherever they're based, or deciding that one state versus another, leaving New York for Miami to just put your PO box. That's not what it is. It's about business being done in New York. And what Zoran wants to raise the corporate tax rate to is, as he says, the same level as the radical socialist utopia of New Jersey. Ooh, so scary. It's like, this is what he wants to do and accomplish is similar to all other states and localities around New York City.
Strat, let me jump in there when you said it's so scary, but that is a real fear. Now, but look, my husband is in real estate, and I know some of the folks who are concerned about this. They're like, look, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay here in New York City. I'll move to Florida. I'll take my money and I'll move to another state. The rich people can move somewhere else. And a lot of there's concern, I have to be honest with you, among many of the Jewish people that I know. They are actually concerned, whether it's real or not. They believe it is so, and they believe that he is anti-Semitic, and they are willing to leave New York City as their main residence and move somewhere else or take their money somewhere else. You don't think that is a legit concern?
I think that the concern of rich people, I want to start with that first, of rich people leaving is less important than the concern of people who have built their life and built New York leaving, people getting pushed out of the city. I don't think that anyone who can live in New York City as a billionaire doesn't want to live in New York City as a billionaire. It seems like a pretty great life to be living in New York City. It's the greatest city in the world for a reason. But yes, I've heard those concerns. But what Zoran has talked about on the
I'm
campaign
glad you
trail,
heard them, because then people will think I'm saying that. Thank you very much.
no. I like, sure, these are things that are, and you're saying it because this is what you hear when you go out and speak to people on the street. Like, I see those clips all the time. You're listening to people, you're just sharing their concerns. All I'd say is I have seen nothing, I've heard nothing. No one follows the Zoran Mamdani campaign more than I do, and I consume all of the content. And there's been nothing that he has said, except actually to the counter, that would suggest that any of that are reasonable. Any of those concerns are reasonable.
Let me ask you one more thing. What about Zoran Mamdani is going to be soft on homelessness, and not necessarily that you don't care about the homeless people, but you want them to have a better life and get off of the street. And then there are people who say, these folks should not be on the street. Some of them have mental issues. And he's also going to be soft on crime. We saw what happened during the pandemic. We saw what happened with getting rid of bail and all of that stuff. What is that a concern? Is that a legit concern in your eyes?
I hate to keep saying no here, but I just think this is maybe one of the best candidates that we have seen in a long time. These concerns about Zoran being, soft on crime, or echoes from 2020 or of defund the police just are not true. They're not true. He wants to make sure that police officers are doing the jobs that they were trained to do, that police officers who don't want to be responding to mental health crises, which exist across the city, we know that to be the truth. That's not their job. What that should be the job of is social workers, who Zoran wants to invest in. He wants to make sure that communities are safer. He has outlined countless plans on how he will put together not task forces that take 5 years to, figure out that maybe we should draw up a report about one day filing a claim. No, he wants to make sure that communities are safer by actually investing in the ways to make that happen. So I do, again, find those concerns to be a little unfounded with someone who has spoken with very great specifics about how he is not trying to take away from police departments, but to reallocate funds that aren't being spent correctly to make sure that officers who don't want to be handling those crises don't have to, but people who are equipped to actually can.
Cuomo did not help himself as far as, and this is something else that I hear as well. Cuomo is not, where has he been? He's not done a great job of campaigning. He's done a great job of raising a lot of money, but he has been MIA, as Ross Barkan also said in speaking to Tara Palmieri. Watch this.
And this has been a really lackluster front-running campaign. I think it's the worst I've ever seen, to be frank. He might still win, but this is the worst front-running major campaign I have seen on any level, from president down to local. It's really quite bad.
And why would you say that? Just because they're just not showing up, or they're road starting?
I think the total lack of showing up, the lack of effort, Cuomo's sort of absent media strategy. I get it. You're going to get tough questions, right? But I mean, you could probably literally count on two hands the number of times he just has done open questions with reporters, like gaggles, press conferences. I mean, really very little media interaction. I think just little things. The signage is really bad. I mean, this is an aesthetic thing, but I remember when I went to his kickoff in March at the same place I'm actually about to go to, the Carpenters Union. And I saw these signs. They looked like they were designed by like an untalented fifth grader. Like, they're really the worst.
I'm going to steal one of my producer's lines. Not just a fifth grader, but an untalented one. Is what he said.
It's true. It just is. It's true. The campaign has been a no-show. Someone tweeted today, every video that you've seen of Andrew Cuomo has been like him driving away in his Dodge Charger or Challenger or whatever it is. It's like he has been absent from the campaign trail. And it makes you wonder, is it just because he's too old to show up and do the job? I don't want to get into like a whole ageism thing here, but it's like, is it because he's too old? He doesn't actually want to do it? Is it because he just doesn't care, which is a real possibility? He's kind of running this job as like a kind of running for this job as a self-masturbatory exercise, or is it maybe that like, and I don't want to make accusations here, but just like his staff doesn't feel that comfortable with him in these public places. I don't know what it would be, but yes, he's just been MIA. Like, no one sees him. And Zoran is doing the exact opposite. But really everyone down, you'd call it the working family slate, is out there all the time.
Well, here's the thing. Let me see. So I spoke to, this is one of my Jewish friends called me. Was it yesterday? Sunday. What's today? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. On Sunday, he's like, I'm in London. and I'm really worried. And I said, worried about what? He goes, well, because, Andrew Cuomo has just he's not doing anything. He's raising a lot of money and he can't even get his fucking, when someone asks him, what's his bagel order? And he
Oh
goes,
yeah,
it's an egg, cheese, and whatever. And he goes, he couldn't
And
even get the order right.
on
He
an
said,
English muffin,
"On
and
an
he says
English
he
muffin."
picks the bacon off. Oh
And then he
gosh.
said, I don't even live. He said he doesn't even live in New York City. He lives in Mount Kisco. So that's, and then there's this. Okay. Let's put up this picture. This is a picture of Zoran Mamdani, right? And this is from the Cuomo campaign, Super PAC. And they're saying that this is racist. Now, here's what I think. They're saying that's the original on the left, and then the one on the right is supposed to be the super racist one. But if you want to know, if you really want to know how I feel about this, Jack, I think they made him look hotter on the right.
I think there's nothing you can't do to not make him look hotter. And do you know what? I will say this: the beard is extended. That is 100% true. But it's funny because the first time I looked at it, I thought it had more to do with like what they were doing with the hue, which is something as someone who makes thumbnails for my YouTube channel, and I have like the hue and the brightness set so it pops a little bit more. Sometimes I'm like, did I make Donald Trump too orange? Did I make like this person too that? So it's just kind of funny, but like, yeah, they're really doing everything they can. And you're like, again, you want to talk about hate and fear and fear mongering. That's the Cuomo campaign. That's not been the message that the Zoran campaign has put forth in any way at all. It's been combating hate that's been directed towards himself. And Zoran's spoken very publicly about that, days after he had threats against his life, called for, he was walking down the length of Manhattan. He's just out all the time. Again, it is the best run campaign I've seen since, I guess I'm not that old, so I can't even remember when. And, I guess I followed a little bit more than maybe I have others. But
where are you, Jay?
Right now I'm in Washington. I did just graduate Columbia, though. So I was
New Yorker. Are you a New Yorker?
Well, I don't think you can claim that title without being there. Well, I guess I would have to ask you, how many years, how many, just rats have to run past you as I'm like walking back to my shitty dorm. And
oh, come on. No, wait a minute now.
I'm not claiming it. I would not steal that title. There is no way.
Shitty dorm at NYU or Columbia, where you're in the heart of the world's best and big city?
I would say it was a little shitty because for the first couple of years, it was like 120 square feet. I upgraded at the end. I was doing 200 square feet. But Don, you got to remember, I have my whole studio in my room. So it was studio, bed, 200 square feet at the end. I did enjoy my time, but it wasn't particularly the greatest living in the world.
Did you go to NYU or did you go?
I went to Columbia.
You went to Columbia. Yeah. Well, Columbia. What do they call it? It's really Harlem, but they call it something else up again.
Morningside Heights.
No,
I'm not going to trash my neighborhood. We love Morningside Heights. A lot of rats.
Harlem. It's good. Look, New York City is great. And then the only person who's afraid of rats is my other half. He hates them. And I'm
really?
Like, at least you can see these big fucking rats, so they, you can get out of the way. But anyways, there you go. That's what we need to deal with, the trash. Mamdani, if you get in there, deal with the trash. So I guess I know. That's the only reason I asked you if you were a New Yorker, because I know I was going to say, well, I guess you're going to vote for Cuomo, but.
Or I'm going to pull in Eric Adams, and I'm just going to rank. He just said right in his name, just 1 through 5.
You think this? Real quick, do you think I'm going to put this up before I let you go. I know I'm late, guys. I know my producers are like, move on. This is a TikTok from today. Watch. Now that's perfect for you because look, you see the trash right in front. That's why we have all the rats.
Yep.
But also that is a pat of butter on a skillet in the middle of New York City right now. You think it's going to affect?
Don, I don't want to say that I'm happy. I don't like voter suppression. Let's make that very clear. But weather reports lately, we got Trump's parade rained out. It's a little toasty in New York, and that helps. That helps a certain campaign. I'm starting to believe in God. I'm becoming religious again.
Oh my gosh.
The weather reports again. Voter suppression, not a fan. I want everyone to get out there. But I'm not going to say that I hate it. I'm going to say that I hate it.
100 and something here in New York City. It's crazy, but I dig it. I'm a Louisiana boy. I'm like, what do you guys?
I'm a Florida guy. Yeah, I love it. Bring the humidity too.
Thank you.
What do you think I got all this hair for it to puff up? I got to get it going.
Come to New York City, hang out. I live right
near.
I'll be
back. I'll be back to see my mayor of New York, Zoran, getting sworn in. I'll see you then.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you soon. Thank you, Jack Coscarella. Very good guy. I enjoyed the reporting. Please come back to the show. We'd love having you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We'll see you soon. And especially if Zoran wins or if he loses, we want to have him back. So thank you, guys. Let me just get this in before, because I want to get to our other big story that's happening now live in Washington, D.C. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from 120 Life. Did you know that high blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for mortality? 1 in 2 adults has it. That is a 50-50 chance that you're a walking time bomb. Okay, so here's the good news. You can take control of all of that, and it's natural without relying on Big Pharma. 120 Life is a blend of great tasting superfruit juices that have been shown to actually help lower your blood pressure. It's not just for high blood pressure. It's also beneficial for your health conditions, like other health conditions like diabetes. 120 Life is trusted by healthcare professionals, with hundreds of doctors recommending it to help manage blood pressure naturally. It provides visible, measurable changes in blood pressure, and you can use a simple monitor at home to track your progress. So for a limited time, try 120 Life and save 20% off. Just use the code DON at checkout at 120life.com. 120 Life offers a risk-free trial with a full refund if you don't see your numbers in 2 weeks, lower numbers in 2 weeks. So go to 120life.com and use the code DON to save 20%. There is nothing to lose except your high blood pressure numbers. So go to 120life.com, use the code DON, D-O-N, and save up 20% on your order, okay? Remember, you must use the code DON to get this special offer. This is serious. This is your life. We're talking about 120 Life can help. Support for the Don Lemon Show also comes from BetterHelp, okay? Every time I tell you, how I feel about mental health, go see somebody, take care of it. There is no stigma, and there shouldn't be a stigma at all. Okay. So, did you know that June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? Men today face immense pressure to perform, to provide, and to keep it all together. So it's no wonder that 6 million men in the U.S. suffer from depression every year, and it is often undiagnosed. It is okay to struggle. We all do. We all have something going on. Okay. And so I believe that therapy should be affordable. It should be convenient. It should be accessible. Okay. Affordable, convenient, and accessible. That's what I believe. And so that's what you can do with BetterHelp. You can do it virtually. They have more than 35,000 experienced licensed professionals, more than 10 years of experience with matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 35,000 therapists. Okay. So as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. So talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off of their first month at BetterHelp.com/Don Lemon. That's BetterHelp.com/Don Lemon. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Back now to the news. And we talked about what happened that, so far, the intelligence report shows that strike that happened in Iran did absolutely nothing. Did nothing. Let's get back to our chief Washington correspondent. Wow.
What's up, Don?
Chief Washington correspondent, Jolly Good Ginger. Jolly, you have since moved. Please tell us what's going on. That's Ron later.
So I'm sure you can hear behind me the crowd. That is Senator Warren giving a speech right now. And basically the crux of her speech was, this bill, talking about the big ugly bill now, this bill is going to cut Medicaid. All the people here, the crowd that's listening, have a shirt on that says Medicaid saves lives. So this is a message saying, if you pass this bill, you're cutting Medicaid. And if you cut Medicaid, you kill people. That's the message.
Oh, you're muted, Don.
Oh, Jolly. Sorry, I always do that. Jolly, yeah. Let me see. Step out of the way. And can we see the crowd a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Who's
I'm
here?
going to show you the crowd a little bit. I'll pick this up and I'll show you.
Yeah, sure.
It's a pretty good sized crowd here, right outside the Capitol. We're in the shade because it's hot. You can see Senator Warren's talking right now.
Tell the Republicans at lunch today. He said people are calling you. They're telling you about their kids that count on Medicaid. They're telling you how much.
And I want you to notice how big this crowd is.
Can we listen to her a little bit?
Can you hear her?
Yeah, we can hear her totally.
Oh, great.
Don't worry about it. They'll get over it. Are you going to get over it? No! Is the mama whose baby loses care going to get over it? No! Is the grandma kicked out of her nursing home going to get over it? No! the Republicans cut access to health care ever gonna get over it? No. That's what we need to tell the Republicans. That's what we need to tell them.
Jolly, we can hear it just fine. So thank you. So go on, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No. I mean, that's the message. The message is, now listen, I think it's important to bring up that the House Democrats did the very same thing that's happening right here when the big ugly bill was going before the House floor. And it was not enough to sway Republicans to vote no. So just to recap for everybody, there was 5 Republicans who did not vote yes. 1 simply didn't vote. 2 voted present, and only 2 voted no. We need 4 Republicans to vote no in the House. We also need 4 Republicans to vote no in the Senate. So what you're seeing now is an attempt, just like we saw in 2017 with the famous John McCain thumbs down. This is a message to the Republicans that, you know, your actions in the Senate, your actions in the House, your actions in Congress have real life effects on people. And this is like, Don, it's a ridiculous conversation that we even have to have. Do we really need to argue over whether or not to cut Medicaid? Obviously, you don't fucking cut Medicaid, right? There's like tons of things we could cut, and Medicaid shouldn't even be on the list. And you heard Senator Warren. When this was brought up before Mitch McConnell, they said, well, this person or this family or this person loses Medicaid, and he said they'll get over it. Like, how is that even a reasonable, conscionable human response?
Yeah, true. How long is this going to go on, Jolly?
This is running until 7 o'clock is what it's planned for. Several senators are coming out to speak. Senator Booker's on the way here shortly. Senator Padilla, who everyone saw get arrested in California last week, he's coming out. Senator Warren speaking now, and there's a whole slate of senators. And more importantly, I think more important than the senators, we have guests coming that are speaking, that are telling their story about how Medicaid keeps them alive, how Medicaid keeps their children alive, how Medicaid, you know, it makes their whole life possible. There's this Republican idea that Medicaid is just for people who are mooching off the system. And so we have people here telling the story like, no, I'm a hard-working family. My kid is disabled, or my kid has this life-threatening life-threatening disease or disability, and Medicaid makes their care possible.
Mm-hmm. Can you walk us through? Any of these folks want to talk, or are they just listening to this?
Yeah, I'm sure I could probably grab some people. You want to follow me?
Yeah. So look, Jolly is in Washington right now at the Capitol, and he is out there with folks, the senators who are denouncing, as you see on the screen there, Donald Trump's big, beautiful, big busted bill. And they're trying to, you know, get some public support on their side. And right now, Senator Elizabeth Warren is speaking. Jolly, we've lost your...
No, I was just muting for a second.
Yeah.
All right, let's go talk to some people. Do you mind if I ask you, like, a couple questions about this on live? Anybody?
I mean, what were your questions?
Just, like, why are you here? What does this mean to you?
Ronald, do you want to get an interview right now?
No, Ronald? Come on, Ronald. Come on, Ronald. Yeah, here we go. I got someone right here. Here we go. Can I mind if I ask your name?
My name is Cynthia Johnson.
Cynthia. Make sure you can see us. Cynthia,
Yes.
what does this mean to you? Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm here from New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
I'm a parent. I'm a SEIU member. I'm also a mother. My daughter is surviving right now because of Medicaid. If the cuts come into play, she will definitely die because Medicaid pays for her medicine. She has a rare condition of epilepsy that takes care of her seizures. Without the medication, she'll have seizure after seizure after seizure. She had an episode in 2014, drop seizures. She fell, hit her mouth, broke her gum in 3 places. She hit her mouth so hard, her teeth released from her mouth. And she was 28 then. So she had to undergo $23,000 worth of dental work.
And Medicaid makes all that possible.
Yes.
So how do you feel? I mean, I know it sounds like an obvious question, but that we're even having this conversation to cut Medicaid.
When you think about somebody's life, which is priceless, and they're trying to put a price tag on whole lot of other people's life that they don't know nobody about. If it was turned around, would they want somebody to put a price tag on their child's life? To me, it's a horrendous mistake. They're not thinking about life, they're thinking about dollar bills. Life is precious, each and every one of them. And they cannot put a price tag on life. Not my daughters, not their daughters, not anybody's child.
I think that's really the message that we're sending here is, this isn't just a bill on the Senate floor. This is people's lives that are affected. And you came all the way from Connecticut to tell your daughter's story. That's amazing. So,
is she alone? Did she come with some folks?
did you come with a group? Because I see a lot of people wearing the same shirt. Did you guys come
We
together?
have a group from Connecticut that's here. All of us have similar stories, but we know that all of us, plenty of us that are here, they also have similar stories. I have a disability. What are we going to do if we don't have the Medicaid? Our jobs can't pay us. You see what I'm saying? I do the work as a PCA. I don't even have health care. Okay, I don't have a pension, but I take care of somebody else that cannot take care of themselves. Okay, if I stop taking care of them, then what is the government gonna do? They are supposed to take care. America was built on taking care of each other. Okay, have we forgotten what our pledge is to one another? We are still supposed to be that country that takes care of each other. We forgot about that. Are we still just thinking about money instead of thinking about lives?
Right. Is there anybody in your group here that would want to also tell their story while we're telling their story? We want to hear your story because you guys came down together. Did you come from Connecticut as well?
I did also come from Connecticut.
Mind if I ask your name?
My name is Elizabeth Wood Townsend. I'm a PCA. I'm also an organizer with the union, 1199 Northeast. I take care of my niece who has cerebral palsy. She's 26 years old, and without Medicaid, her life would look very different. Being able to care for her myself, at home, gives her a quality of life that she can never get in a nursing home or a group home. It's imperative that we keep these Medicaid services because it is literally saving lives. It's giving people quality of life, and it's less expensive to have a PCA actually than it is to have a nursing home or a group home life. Okay.
Can you ask her, Jolly, what she
go ahead.
want from these senators who are out there denouncing now, but what actions can they take?
Okay. The question is, with these senators out here that are talking, that this is about to go before the Senate floor. What actions do you want from these senators on your behalf?
I want these senators to say no to cuts to Medicaid. I want them to kill the bill and to actually be American citizens who support lives and who wants to take care of the most needy population of this country, because we have to be the ones to care for those that can't care for themselves. For the ones that don't have a voice, we have to have the voice for them. We don't turn our backs to our people that need us the most. We care for people because we are those caregivers. And it's essential that these senators say no to killing that bill. To say no to the bill and actually save lives.
And
Well,
let
it
me
looks
say
like she's-
a different way. For once, senators, take the R off, take the D off, and become human beings. Think about human life, not just whether you are a Republican or a Democrat, but think about the human life. This is a humanity issue, not a Republican or Democrat issue. We are
Jolly,
talking
thank
about
those
human
ladies
life.
for us. Thank you so much. We really
Cynthia,
appreciate you joining.
Elizabeth, really appreciate you coming down. Really appreciate you speaking with us. And we're going to do everything we can to fight with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank
Tell them they
you.
need to become members of the Lemon Nation. We got them. The Lemon Nation has them. We've got their backs. Anyways,
I'm gonna see if I can grab Senator Warren real quick. Let's see if we can grab her really fast.
okay.
She's leaving, but we might get a quick word out of her. We'll grab her right here. She's taking some pictures with people. We got other senators coming in. I guess, listen, Don, my biggest question for all of these senators, and I want to hear the same, I want to ask Senator Warren the question. I want to ask every senator I talked to today a question. Listen, realistically, do we have a pathway to kill this bill? Do we have, a plan to kill this bill? We've seen the same language happen in the House. We've even seen the same tactics happen in the House where we had people come out and tell a story. Yeah. She's taking pictures, yeah. So Here we go. Let's go.
Let's see.
Excuse me. I should
Now
be able
you,
to
you
grab her
guys
right
will
after
see
these
how
photos.
reporters work in action. It's not always as easy as you think.
Yeah, just the shot's not always available there. Stand there. Let's grab her. Let's grab her. Let's grab her. And I see Senator.
Just make sure she has a way to walk through, folks. We can't block the path.
All right, I'm going to try to grab her, Don. If you give me
Okay.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it's all right. We're good. We're watching live in action as this happens. Look, I'm going to read this, Jolly, and if I see her come up, I'm going to wait. Let's see. Is she coming over now?
Well, no, because every time she almost does, somebody grabs a
Okay, look,
picture, and that's
Jolly, I
Kevin.
just stand by. If jump in, I'll be watching.
I know she got a vote at 5:45, so I might not get her because I did talk to her people already.
Just tell her one question.
Yeah, I know. Senator Warren, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
It's tough.
Yeah. I think less pictures we would have got it. But
well, that's what happens. That's what folks say.
got-
Man on the street. Jolly, I got to get a break in here real quick.
Yes, please do.
Really a break. We don't call it a break. I just got to do something from our sponsors, something that's really important. Look, it is. I like to bring light to stories and to regions and areas that don't get a lot of attention, the attention that they deserve, and that is Africa. So here's a hard cold fact for you. Support from that. Well, let me just say this. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from MSI United States. Here's a hard cold fact for you. In sub-Saharan Africa, 4 million teenage girls drop out of school every year because they get pregnant. Just like teenagers everywhere, they experiment sexually. So for many of these girls, there's no access to birth control. Most will never go back to school. Some will risk their lives trying to end the pregnancy, and too many of them will die. The good news is there is an organization called MSI Reproductive Choices that's known for going to the ends of the earth to bring girls contraception and control over their lives. Okay, so you can help. Make a donation. Give today. Go to msiunitedstates.org or text my last name, Lemon, to 511-511. Text Lemon to 511-511 for just $26. You can give a girl contraception for 4 years. That's 4 years to complete her education, build a future. Text Lemon to 511-511 or go to MSI, that's M as in modern, S as in safe, I as in informed, unitedstates.org. That's msiunitedstates.org. Modern, safe, informed. So thank you to our sponsors today. Back now to our chief Washington correspondent, Jolly Good Ginger is out in the field. Jolly, hello once again. Jolly, I want to talk to you because who's speaking now?
It looks like Senator Blumenthal's about to speak.
Okay, well, I want to ask you about this. I want to put this up and talk to you about our breaking news story that we had at the beginning of the program.
Sure.
Because this is CNN. I want to play this real quick. CNN.
I'm on the Don Lemon Show, Don Lemon's live. The question is, so we've seen a lot of this happen, like same like language from House Democrats before the bill went to the House. Now it's in the Senate. Do you feel realistically the Senate has a better chance to kill this bill?
I've heard Republican colleagues say that they deeply oppose the cuts in Medicaid. They now need to have a backbone to vote their conscience, and what they have said to their colleagues like me and others. They need to stand up to Donald Trump, to the House leadership, and maybe to their own. Do the right thing, because for their constituents across America, it makes a huge difference. It's not a Republican or Democratic impact here. Rural hospitals in red states, as well as blue states, all kinds of people are going to suffer.
I've heard from plenty of senators and House members I speak to, same thing you're saying. There's a lot of talk behind closed doors, not a lot of action out in public. Do you feel like with the recent rifts in the Republican Party over the bombing of Iran, over the different language that's disagreeing with Donald Trump, do you feel like you got a better chance now to get some Republican colleagues maybe to cross over?
I think our chances are better because there's more awareness in the country, and consequently more awareness among my Republican colleagues about the devastating impacts these Medicaid cuts will have. The fact that so many women and children will suffer literally life-threatening health conditions, I think has to be powerfully persuasive to them.
Is that the point of this here, is to make sure that America sees and hears what's going to happen?
We want to make sure that America hears these voices and sees these faces, because all too often people can look the other way. They may not see what we're seeing here, what we see when we go home.
Senator, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Jolly. Jolly. So, look, Jolly, you're doing a great job out there. We really appreciate all the effort and all the work that you're doing. And thank you for reporting on this, and thank you for reporting on the breaking news, Jolly. We got to get out of here, though, because
so I'll cover this, and then we'll get the rest of it up, posted on social media.
Can you get us some stuff? If you get an interview, if you get something with Senator Booker or whatever, I just have to get out of here because I just want to tell everybody I'm going on to Jolly. You're not going to like this, because I'm going on to Legacy Media tonight. That is on Ari Melber's show on the MS.
We listen and we do not judge.
All right, thank you, brother. All right, I appreciate it. That's all right.
Thanks, Don. You got it.
On the Jolly, doesn't he do a great job every single day? So thank you, guys. Listen, you know what I always tell you: make sure you go check out. People are asking me where I got this. This is our merch from our merch store. Go check it out. I'm gonna give him something when I get here. This is our bag. Love this bag. That is on our merch store. So check it out. Go to the merch store on Don Lemon. And we got the black t-shirt and this. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. So I appreciate you joining us. You know what I always say, you can be informed without being inundated. You don't have to sit in front of the TV and just get outraged and we all day and all night. We're going to bring you the stuff that you need to talk about. Look how much we got covered today. Great stuff. We were live on the Capitol. You didn't see that anywhere else, and you won't. So support independent media. Become a member of the Don Lemon channel. Become a subscriber. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the thumbs up and the likes when you're on here, because it does affect the algorithm and more people become aware of our conversation. So I shall see you guys, as I say, until I see you live at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. Someone says Lemon Legend. Oh, Larry, got it. Hold on. Oh, look, can we put that up? Did you guys have a picture of a Lemon Legend? I saw some of the legends last night. You can put the picture up. And every time, if you guys, I'm going to put you guys. There it is. She got her merch last night. Lemon Legend, Laria Bray got her merch last night. So send us a picture if you get your merch. I love the t-shirt. It looks great. I don't even have one of those yet. Darn it. All right, guys, look, until I see you at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support.